days off. If you've watched my content for any length of time, then you've probably already seen this video about the Unicorn FIFO roster that I landed. 1 week on, 2 weeks off.
Right, so I just come off 11-day stint, back working FIFO again. And number one question I got asked when I was there was, what roster are you on? And every time I told them what roster I was on, the answer was the same. It was like, how the did you get that roster? It was pretty simple.
Here's the thing, but I'm not sharing it for bragging rights. I'm sharing it because I'm building something. I'm calling it fractional FIFO because it's the start of something that I'm building called the Reserve Bench, which are a team of operators that can plug into a complex site fast, sort out chaos, and help you create flow. This is the first test, so I'm taking it on myself to set the standard for how it's done.
Please be nice.
So if you're running a project and you need someone short term to come in and help steer the ship, or you know someone on a project that does, DM me the words fractional FIFO and let's have a chat. And to everyone that says you might have got that roster once, Beanie, but it'll never happen again, all I can say is hold my beer, because as John Wayne was famous for saying, it ain't bragging if you did it.
Right, so the roster is, it goes on 13 days off. So essentially, one on, 2 off. What happened?
Wait, hey, grab the net. Pull back.
Okay, project that I was on a couple of years ago when I walked in. The forecast was saying we're gonna earn somewhere between 2,400 hours a day. The actuals said a different story. The actuals said somewhere about, we're actually earning about 1,000 or 1,200 at the best. That report hit the client, the PM, and the steerco every single day with those stats. Nobody below the PM, maybe the odd superintendent, ever saw it. The people closest to the work can't see the gap. They can't close it. You got little to no hope of them coming up with a way to fix it themselves. That's not a motivational problem, as much as we would all like to think that it is. It's a visibility problem, and there's a 99.99% chance it's happening on your project right now. All right, we'll take you through exactly what was going on. Then we're going to review our stats for construction school this week, obviously, being it's a Sunday. This is the O&I session. And then we're going to run ORCA, as we always do. All right, so we're talking about these 3 things. You had the PM, you got the team, and you got the gap. Forecasting 2,200 hours, earning 1,000. One of them has a title. One of them does work, and one of them is invisible. Obviously, the PM's got the title. The people doing the work, the actual team, they had no data, nothing of any substance that was telling them that the gap was that big. They knew that stuff was going down. There was a lot of yelling and carrying on every single day. They didn't know how big that gap actually was. Why is that not working? Yeah, because you're hitting the wrong button then. All right, so that's in essence what it looked like. No, we don't need you, whistle flow at the minute. Published daily, seen by the hierarchy, and visible below them. Why does this keep moving on me? Command that one. Right. Where the data was going. So the data was still being produced daily at this point off a schedule that wasn't the worst I've ever seen, wasn't the greatest I've ever seen, but it wasn't the worst. That was getting fed directly to the client. PM, he was the one feeding it to the client. It's probably got that drawn a little bit the wrong way around. And every afternoon we'd have to front up at the steerco with the EGM going, what are we doing about it? The people who actually could fix it, that if they could see the data and it existed, it just stopped at the wrong level. This is what we did instead. The sequence was the filtered path. This is where the heading comes from this title. It's not your forecasting's incorrect, it's that it's filtered. So your report's published, your hierarchy gets it, your client pushes hard against it. What are we doing about it? Why haven't we fixed this yet? Team never sees it. What happens is the project just drifts. The floodlit path, what I explained this the other day, is like these two different paths. The top ones, like everyone's trying to drive along the highway at 100 miles an hour with a torch and two AAA batteries in it for a light to see where they're going. When you've got live dashboards, you've got live schedule, it's like you've got a giant set of spotlights. Everyone can see exactly where they're going. So the floodlit path, this is what we did. First of all, we got the numbers on the whiteboard, even though they weren't what we wanted to hear. There's a saying that comes out of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that is, all progress begins with the truth. And that's where we began, writing the truth up on the board every single day. The team then sees that gap. Most of the people that you got working for, and I'd say predominantly the majority of them, well above 90%, actually care about what they're doing. They don't like to perform poorly. They like to be measured. They want to see that they're doing a good job. They want to see the score. The team then owns the fix. Hey guys, we're running 1200, we're forecasting 24. What's the gap? What's going on? And the project starts to move. Okay, you got the same data, different destination, and different results. Completely different results. They blew that figure away in the end. The highest they got to with the same people. And no one ever reported this because no one was ever going to report that they could do that. We had a day that went this well because they were worried they were going to get held to it all of the time. Was 4,400 hours. The exact same people, exact same tools, everything the same. 4x increase inside 90 days. You couldn't maintain that, but we did a day. That was 4 times what we were doing at the start of it. ORCA is the process that flags this up. Objective, results, causes, actions. If you haven't run an ORCA yet, it's 15 minutes of your day that will put hours back into it. I didn't even know the ORCA process back then. If I had have, we would have done even far better than what we did. It's not a meeting, it's a brief. Fighter pilots use it, that's how they execute their missions flawlessly. 99.something% of their missions, what they set out to achieve, gets done. They very, very rarely miss. Not just a meeting, it's a process. It's a loop that stops the drift. I'll let a fighter pilot tell you about it right now.
This is the most powerful tool on earth. As an organization, we helped 3 NFL teams win the Super Bowl by teaching them how to use this method by coaching. It's called debrief, and it's only 4 steps. Intention, expectation, or what we call objective. Reality or results, what we call result. Curiosity, or what we call cause, the cause of this gap in performance. And action, what am I actually going to do about it?
All right, sounds simple? It is extremely simple. Trouble is with simple is smart people, a lot of the time, can't believe that the answer is so simple. That was one of the head execs at Toyota said that when Paul Akers interviewed him once. Right, let's run one right now. Ready to start, Claude? I used to do this off my phone, but for some reason, that's terrible. Ready to start, Claude? Some reason, my phone and Ecamm Live are having an argument, and it will not. The camera will show up, but the phone itself, we call the screen, won't show up anymore. So we're doing this today off Claude desktop. Won't make any difference, just a little bit slower. Hopefully it'll get running. Yes to yesterday's actions got done. He's not telling us what he's doing at the minute. I see ChatGPT starting to do the same thing. Home. It now tells you what it's doing while it's doing it. Painfully slow at the minute. Still waiting for the internet to get hooked up off here, so I'm just jumping up my phone to do practice runs. Yes. Welcome back to another ORCA. May 24th, 14.4 minutes, 1% of your day. Audience live debrief. Step 1 is the objective of locking in exactly what we set out to do today. What we set out to do today was to have a crystal clear picture of what we had and what was left to do to be able to offer the floodlit workshop. See if we can work out that's floodlit, not flood lake. Good objective, get a crystal clear, it did, workshop. Did it happen? Yes, it did. We went over and above actually. We've got that. We know exactly where we sit. We created an offer doc and we're going to build a new dashboard to keep us 100% focused on getting the 5 people in the Stealth Team Labs. One of the key drivers for that is watch time for a video and engagement in the construction school group. So we've managed to find a workaround thanks to a Nate Herc video that we can now pull out data and we'll get that dashboard live this week. That's well over the objective. Offer doc created, dashboard started, watch time and engagement tracking identified as key drivers, a workaround found via Nate Herc to pull the data. Win or gap? Most definitely a win. What drove going over and above today? Clarity around the task on what had to be achieved. Also reps. It's just a Sunday morning routine now. I hop up. Don't have to spend all day on it, but I put a good hour or two in the morning. When I get up first thing, I have a couple of cups of coffee and jump on Claude and we smash them. More workout. We got more done today. Here's a call. And you tell me if I'm wrong, Claude. We got more done today, more meaningful work, more effective work than most people will do all week. Not busy work, not running around answering emails and phone calls and pretending like telling everyone how much you got on. Effective work that's going to move the needle on the critical drivers that we need to get construction school MRR at the point where I can focus on it full time. That's what he said. He might say I'm full of shit. So root cause you win. Cause Sunday morning routine locked in. Clarity on the task. Reps make it automatic. Focus on effective, not busy work. Moving the needle on critical drivers, not filling the day. That sits in organisation, culture and experience. 182 days of building the right morning ritual. One action for tomorrow. So tomorrow will be to do my normal LinkedIn post and a school post, but we will actually do one 50-minute critical focus time on finishing off setting up that floodlit workshop. So it'll be focused on finishing off that dashboard, getting that dashboard live. dashboards are one of the EXO model attributes that they found when they studied startups. There's a reason why they're 10 times quicker, faster and more effective than the average business. And dashboards was one of those core attributes that drove that. All right, we might have a little glitch here because old mate's gone sleep. See if we can get him going again. Locked, same as the action. Get floodlit dashboard live. 182 days, Sunday morning routine, producing more effective work in 2 hours than most people do all week. Offer doc done. That's not hustle, that's clarity, compounding. See you tomorrow. Tap here to log the session. I've never done it. See what it does here. Always done it on my phone. Day 50 logged, win. Okay, what we said we also had to do while we're here, old mate Benny nearly forgot. Unfortunately, that just popped up in front of me. We just need to switch to the Google Chrome. Was to review our stats for construction school this week, and it's not good. Engagement's down 23%. I have been inconsistent with when I've posted, as you can see from May 11. If I went back and had a look at my consistency of posting, I'd say that that's right down, and we've dropped from 28% down to 23%. So we need to get on top of it. See the missing days down here. No activities, May 18, 19, 12. I had a really good run. Oh, this is the actual community. This is not mine. Actually, what we should do is go and have a look at mine and see how well we did. Also in Discovery, we would have slipped some more places as well. 6179. Not sure exactly where we were. If I went down and had a look at my profile and my board, yeah, look at the missing days here. Where were we? April 18th, 19th, went 2 days in a row there. May 12th, 15th, 9th. No wonder those stats aren't great. Engagement stats. All right. This is what we now know. When we've got data at the right level, people can act at it. That means the constraint is control. As Dr. Elon Goldwright said, control a constraint and you control the system. The constraint is the communications. We don't have good comms, clear comms, and that includes a story that we're selling about our progress, then chaos ensues. One gets the title. I like to say I did just completed a couple of years back a diploma in project management. Spent 12 months doing it because I thought I wanted to be a PM. I don't. I don't want to control it. I don't want the title. It means nothing to me. What I want to do is control a constraint. PM gets the title. The person who controls the constraint moves the project. That's the job. All right, if you want to know more about how we use Claude to build these dashboards, control the constraint, comment floodlit. I'll send you the details for when we're going to run the workshop. Speak soon. You don't want to start 2026 like this. I'm starting a new pilot program called 2026 Pre-Season Training. It's for leaders who want to get their team match fit before the whistle blows and the 2026 season kicks off. So if you're running a good company or a team and you want to hit 2026 in a sprint, this is your window right now to set it up. We'll custom build your 12-month plan and drop it into a Trello board so that you actually track it and use it. We'll resource it properly so the work actually gets done and set you up a school community so that you're ready to get rhythm from day one. We'll be setting it all up using Goldwright's project rules of flow to mitigate the 12 causes of project failure, because that's exactly what this is and how you need to treat it as a project. And you'll also be learning to leverage AI where it counts to get the most impact. This isn't some paint by numbers cookie cutter course. It's pre-season training custom built for your business. There's only 10 spots and we'll have it wrapped up so that you're ready to run before we hit Christmas. DM me the words 2026 pre-season training and I'll send you all the details, because you really don't want to start 2026 like this.